Have you ever considered what it's like to immerse yourself in a sound bath? Well, today I have you covered. Join me as I invite a special guest to dive into the unique experience of a sound bath and spill all the details on the Afterbath. Welcome to the Afterbath, where we explore unique experiences and wellness practices. I'm your host, Matt. Today we have a special episode where we'll be diving into the world of sound baths. If you've ever wondered what it's like to be immersed in soothing sound waves, you're in for a treat. In episode 5 of the Afterbath, our sound bath participant Shell embarks on her 5th consecutive sound bath, diving deeper into the world of transcendence. After a week of effortless ease, Shell radiates an unshakable calm and clarity like never before. But as her journey deepens, questions arise. Is this transformation here to stay? Can she maintain her newfound serenity when life's challenges inevitably return? Keep watching to witness Shell's ongoing journey filled with growth, peace, and the unknown. Will this be lasting change or just a beautiful moment in time? Welcome back, Shell.
Thanks, Matt.
So this is sound bath number 5.
Coming up.
Yeah. How was this week?
Lovely.
Great. Wow, that's quite a change.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what's different?
Before we get into what's different, all of the changes I noticed, I want to make a clarification about last week.
Got it. Yeah.
So you mentioned that I seemed drained, but that really wasn't my experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't drained at all, not physically nor emotionally. And I think it's really important to clarify that because I wouldn't want your listeners to get the impression that going through this sequence that there's going to be a point where they get exhausted, because it really wasn't exhaustion.
Got it. Okay, what was it?
So after sound bath number 3, I felt something melt away from me and emotions came up. Yucky emotions, the defensive emotions, and that made me feel vulnerable and uncomfortable, rattled. My feathers were ruffled, and I didn't know how to operate in the new me. So really uncomfortable feelings, but really positive that it got to that point. At no point, however, did I feel that that was an exhausting process. I wasn't exhausted by the uncovering. I wasn't exhausted by the emotions coming up. I just felt really uncomfortable that my MO had to change.
Got it.
I think that's super important to make that clarification that I didn't feel drained, because I think what I'm learning through this process, and it's a long process, it's not one sound bath, what I'm learning through this process is just how gentle it is and non-exhausting it is. It's giving me energy because it's taking away the things that drain my energy. So I wasn't drained, I was being removed of the things that drained me. If we're talking about modes of therapy, if I liken this to talk therapy, for example, completely different. I think if you go into talk therapy about what came up, which was that defensiveness, and then have that experience of 45 minutes of relating whatever it is you think happened wherever, whenever, you could come out of that feeling drained rather than energized, rather than relieved. What I found with this process is that whatever brought me to that point of release, or I take a step back, whatever was uncovered didn't need a reason.
Got it.
It didn't require me to look back and investigate The reasons for what I felt simply didn't matter, and they didn't come up. My brain did not spend a moment or any energy looking into the past and trying to unearth something.
Yeah.
It just, in this process, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it's not an exhausting process. It's not a draining process at all.
Yeah.
For instance, today I'll go in for my sound bath. Whatever I may have on my mind that might feel yucky, not that there is, but just saying, by the time I'm in there and I'm out of there, whatever it was doesn't matter anymore.
Got it.
It just melts away.
Yeah.
There's no investigative process.
Would that be a little bit like, you know, sometimes people go, oh, I don't want to open up the can because it's a can of worms and I'll have to pick through the worms. Really what you're saying is you open up the can and actually the worms have dissolved.
We love analogies, don't we?
Or maybe they've wiggled away but they're nowhere to be found anymore. You don't have to pick through anything.
It's the proverbial Pandora's box, and I imagine that we all never want to open our Pandora's box because we just don't know what's going to leap out and bite us.
Yeah.
This process, I found that the box just gets melted away and anything that's in it
dissolves with it, I guess.
It just dissolves with it. It is so easy. Which brings me to this week.
Great.
It's a really interesting process because it's subtle.
Yeah.
Everything that happens as a result of the ongoing sound baths is subtle.
Yeah.
This is going to sound weird.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just get...
Okay, go for it. Yeah, get weird. Yeah, let's go weird. That's cool.
So I've always got a to-do list.
Yeah.
It plagues me. I have been trained and programmed to be productive, so rest is just not part of my life.
Yeah.
So I've always got to have something to work on. I've got a list now, haven't I? I've got a list in there. There's a list. There's a to-do list, so there's never really an off time. This week, two things happened, and the first one's really strange. I know that there's things that I have to get done, and there's never enough time to get it all done so that I can get to the rest point. It felt like there were suddenly gaps in time. I do not have an analogy to explain this. I do have an analogy.
Yeah, okay.
It was like I had extra time. If time was linear...
Yeah.
And I needed to get everything done from this time to that time.
Yeah.
And there was no extension of time if it was linear.
Yeah.
It was as if, and it was almost as if I could see it, that there'd be an expansion somewhere, and there would be more time in there. The only thing that I can liken it to, because it's so hard to explain, even I don't get it, it was a change of perception of having more time. Bonus time. It was like, imagine you're out of money, you're down the street, you've bought something, you look in your wallet, you're out of money, or your card or your watch or whatever you do your money with has tapped out and it's binging and bonging at you and going, nah. And you go, dang it.
Yeah.
Put the thing down, you put your hands in your pocket and you find that there's $50.
Right.
And then you go into another pocket and there's 100 and you just go, what?
Yeah.
Bonus. Yeah. There's bonus money. It was just hidden in places. There were these little... So that was what the time felt like. It felt like there were these pockets that opened up with extra in it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in woo-woo land now. It was a really strange experience, but there was a relief.
Yeah.
There was just this rest that time was not finite and that I would be able to get through whatever I needed to get through on the to-do list with ease, because there was now these extra pockets that had opened up to me with bonus time, which brings me to the to-do list itself.
Yes.
So this was the second really subtle thing that I noticed. I am a list maker. There's always going to be a list.
Yeah.
There's about 6 of them on my fridge for different things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
This time, this week, after sound bath number 4, what I noticed was I was not thinking about the next thing to do. I was not thinking about what was on that list. I would just do the thing, do the action, and it was as if the rest of it had no hold on me. It wasn't that it didn't matter. It wasn't that I didn't want to get it done.
Yeah.
But it no longer occupied any thought whatsoever.
Yes.
It didn't have a hold on my thinking or my energy. I wasn't pulled by it as I went off to do something else.
Yeah.
There is this weird melting away of things.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same as, when did I talk about the distancing, that feeling of padded, maybe that was in sound bath, after sound bath number 2. I talked about feeling distanced from the noise of life and it not impacting me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but subtler. So those were, just check if there's anything else on my list.
Your to-do list.
My remember to tell Matt what happened list. No, all done. So I'm going to have to do a report card about this whole process post number 6, because there's just so much.
Yeah.
What I'm finding so far is that it is so gentle and so subtle in its movement of things that locked me into a certain position.
Yeah.
That if I was not doing this protocol with you and deliberately being mindful of what is happening and what's changing, I wouldn't notice that I'm feeling better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's better, definitely it's a mental shift. It's definitely a meditation. Oh, this is the third thing. This came to me as I was driving here.
Yeah.
This is cheating.
Okay.
I am not kidding you at all.
Yeah, yeah.
100%. This is the cheat sheet to mental health.
Yeah.
I had no idea that doing a protocol of repeated sound therapies could get me to this beautiful place of ease so quickly with absolutely no effort. It's cheating.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's very easy. It's very easy.
Episode 1,
Yeah.
I talked about having a process. Yeah, I do my prayers and I've learned a few meditative practices.
Yeah.
I've definitely been able to get those snatches of spaciousness in my mind. It may only last for 30 seconds or a minute, but I can do it now, right?
Yeah.
I talked about at that time feeling that I'd stopped making significant progress with that inner calm thing.
Yeah.
That I was still moving forward, but it was like moving my legs through mud or just something that had resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is still a process of effort. It's still a process of my will against the resistance. there is absolutely no effort required for me to get to this better space.
Yeah.
By lying there under the cozy blankets. It is 100% cheating.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, to add something to that, I have a pretty good lifestyle. Like my lifestyle's great. You know, like I'm a music teacher, so I can just sit around and make music all day, and I teach, you know, essentially students, but, you know, I think of them as friends. They're just wonderful. They turn up every week. I get paid very well. Yet I'm happy to push all that aside just to do this one thing, because to have this really easy life and see everyone else around me suffering, but I know I can do something about it, and it's so easy, it seems, well, it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It is the antithesis of hustle culture.
Yeah.
I got more done on my list in this last week. My place is so angelic now.
Yeah.
Because those pockets of space opened up. Things are, like, I'm pretty tidy anyway, but there's another level of tidiness now because there's ease.
Yeah.
I cannot begin to... I should clarify that I don't feel it all the time. It hasn't lasted.
Sure.
That sense of ease has not been sustained during the week. I felt it so acutely and beautifully last week after sound bath number 4.
Yeah.
It's sublime.
Yeah.
I want that all the time, please. I want that all the time, the ease. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
Such a tonic to life.
Yeah.
What I realised with the ease is that I can still do everything, do more, in fact.
Yeah, you can do more.
With ease rather than hustle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't seem fair because...
Yeah. It's like
I've
the
been
ultimate
told,
hack. It's like the ultimate hack.
Just lie there and let you play the bowls. It seriously is. Anyway, back to you. I'm so sorry I interrupted.
No, that was it. That was it. Yeah, to not offer this service is, I wouldn't say it's criminal, but it feels almost criminal. Because, you know, I can offer this service that's, you know, like if I gave someone the option, look, I can teach you to play the guitar, or I can make your life beyond amazing, I think you would choose the second one. Guitar seems, it's nice, but it pales in comparison. And if I was just going to go, I'm just going to sit in my studio now and just write songs. If I said to someone, look, you can either listen to one of my songs or I can make your life amazing. The songs don't even come, you know, like, that. So definitely the sound baths.
I had a moment during the week where the ease hit me.
Yeah.
I thought, what if everyone was walking around like this?
Yeah.
What if everyone just felt this ease?
Yeah.
I really want to hone in on that word as opposed to peace.
Yeah.
Peace felt a little different.
Yeah.
That was that blissful state I experienced in 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Ease is a bit different.
Yeah.
I kind of like it even better.
Yeah.
Because I can still get stuff done.
Yeah. Bliss is like something you do on the weekend. Yeah. When you got a bit of time to, you know, take off and you just want to, you know, look
like
at
a country trip.
Yeah, look at the stars, smell the flowers. It's amazing. It's beautiful for those times where you need a little bit extra, you know, rest. But if you've got a job to do, bliss is probably not the best thing. because you'll be a bit clumsy. You'll be a bit clumsy. So bliss comes after you've, like squashed fear. Once you've squashed fear, bliss naturally arises. And then after bliss, then comes this, like full, whether you want to call it cosmic consciousness or Christ consciousness or this awakening where you're totally clear. There's probably lots of words for it. But it's where you're essentially, you say it's enlightened. Yeah.
I thought about that word, and it's such a overused word, and it has, I think, now negative connotations to some extent, or it's one that people resist. But if I just broke it down, it meant something different to me this week when I felt the ease, because I just removed the end from the light, and I thought about light not as in sunlight, but as in feeling light.
Yeah.
Just feeling unburdened.
Yeah.
And N is to make that feeling of feeling light.
Yeah.
Feeling the relief, the liberation. So if I think of it in that sense, if everybody could just feel light, unburdened, free, breathe. Yeah,
there certainly wouldn't be any more crime.
You reckon?
Well, could you imagine being a criminal like this?
No. This is way too... Yeah, this is way too nice.
Even if you have no money, right, and you had to beg, you'd still be like, that's right, it'll work out.
Really?
I'll find my way.
Jeez.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm really wanting to keep up this ease thing. I don't know how after number 6 I will be able to keep that treasure.
Yeah.
But I really hope for that one.
Well, simply all it is like anything, it just requires practice. That's all it is.
I can't give myself a sound bath.
No, but, there's other practices you can do.
Okay.
Yeah. Meditation, chanting, all types of things. Yeah, yoga, and possibly a little bit of everything. Yeah. I mean, you can always come back, have another sound bath anytime you want. Yeah. I mean, that's just what I do with my life. I have practices that I do throughout the day. And it's like anything. You got to sleep, got to eat, got to go to the bathroom. You do all these things, you don't complain about them. You just go, oh, yeah. And they're just practices. And as you do the practices more and more, they become more stable. And so it's less effort, or hardly any effort. And, and then other things come about. You might find then that you eat less. And then you might find maybe I don't need to sleep as much. And then some of the other things that I used to do maybe not as fulfilling anymore, so I dropped them as well. And then life becomes, well, probably more practices, but simpler and more joyful, or more ease. Yeah, more ease. So really all you're doing is just trading bad habits for good habits. So that's all it is. Yeah. So I don't look at the way I was previous to this and go, oh, the good old days. A friend of mine said to me, sent me a text saying, the good old days about, when we were back in the uni days. And I was like, yeah, I guess they were fun days, definitely, but not as fun as now. Nowhere near as fun as now. So I don't look back and go, oh, I wish I was, 18 or 19 or 20. Those were the good old days. I kind of go, no, those days were interesting. and sometimes very stressful. But, back then, certainly not any better. Different, not better. Yeah. I feel that now is a billion times better. Yeah. A billion times better. I mean, if I had have known what I know now back then, now that would have been amazing. But I don't even contemplate that. That's ridiculous to contemplate. So I don't think about that. Yeah. Anything else? That's good. Nothing else. Fantastic. What do you think? Should we go and have number 5?
Jump in the bath.
Okay.
Here we go.
Great. Let's do it. A sound bath is like a warm hug for your senses, using sound waves to wash over you and melt away stress. Picture yourself lying down in a cozy, serene space with the gentle vibrations of Tibetan singing bowls, gongs, tuning forks and chimes, creating a soothing soundscape around you. It's not just about hearing the sounds, it's about feeling them too. These vibrations work on a deeper level, helping your body and mind to let go of tension and find a natural rhythm of relaxation. The idea is to let the sounds guide you into a peaceful, meditative state where you can just be. No stress, no worries, just pure calm. A sound bath isn't about doing anything, it's about being in the moment and letting the vibrations do the work. Whether you're looking to reset after a tough day or you just want a little bit of time to yourself, a sound bath offers a unique way to recharge, find balance, and reconnect with your inner peace. So, Shell, welcome.
I'm back.
So you're now post sound bath.
Number 5.
How are you feeling now?
Very relaxed.
Great.
Awake.
Yes, you look very awake. Your eyes are very bright and very calm. Your composure is very calm. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
My pleasure. And compared to the other sound baths, what's the feeling like now?
Last week, so number 4 and number 5 are very similar.
Yes.
I am not all in my heaven bliss state at all.
Yeah.
There are no physical sensations.
Yeah.
It's just feeling comfortable in my own skin, feeling awake.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about what this awake feeling is. I think last week you said once you get a taste of being awake, you don't want to go back. And I didn't really understand what you meant until this past week where things started to feel really easy, fluid, effortless.
Yeah.
I was able to make decisions much faster. This whole being awake thing. And then it occurred to me why you wouldn't want to go back. So about 10 years ago, I was very sick with FODMAPs. So you know about FODMAPs, inability to digest sugars. So I think I've had it all my life. I had it all my life. But it got to a particular year and it was really distressing. And I thought, okay, I really need to do something about this. And I just tested myself one day. I had a spoonful of yogurt, which was sweetened with apple juice. And that was it. That's all I had all day. And I was bloated like I was about to give birth. I was 9 months out. But it wasn't just the bloating. It was the distressed feeling changed my mood as well. I couldn't concentrate. I had brain fog. I was edgy. I hadn't done anything except just inability to digest, as it turned out. So I thought, it's got to stop. Went to the doctor. Thought it might have been all sorts of different things. Doctor kind of had an idea. It's probably FODMAP. Sent me for a test. Sure enough, off the charts. I thought, right, I need to do something about this because I'm sick of the pain.
Yeah.
I'm sick of feeling like this. Not just the physical pain. It was the brain fog. All the things I just described. So I went to the dietitian. And she says, if you want to cure your gut, you're going to have to change your diet to exclude all of these different sugars. And as it turned out, there was only one sugar that I could, because there's many different types of sugars.
Yeah.
There's isotyl, mannitol, sorbitol, some gum, haven't said that properly, fructose, and there's sucrose. As it turned out, the only one that I can digest is sucrose, which is cane sugar.
Right.
But all the others I can't digest, which is why this was happening. And most things have some form, most foods have some form of one of these sugars.
Yeah.
So I had to change. I had the option to change by studying all of the different sugars and which foods had which sugars to minimise. You can't not eat.
Yeah.
But to minimise the ones that were giving me the most grief. Onions, garlic were the worst offenders. And they're just about in everything.
Yeah.
It's the base of many different types of curries. It's in our chutneys, our preserves, our spreads.
Yeah.
It was really hard to get away from it. That was more of a problem than any type of fruit. Yeah. But I was committed. I wanted to feel better. So I studied this wad of papers she gave me, and I memorised what was in everything, and then I went about changing the way I cooked.
Amazing.
It took me about 3 years, but I fixed it. And now I can eat any type of fruit, garlic, onions, etc.
Wow.
With very minimal distension. But it took the commitment of wanting to be well and never wanting that feeling again.
Yes.
So when you talked about being awake and not wanting to go back and getting a bit of a taste of it today and last week as opposed to the tripping, it is such a feeling of freedom. Another example was I had childhood asthma. I spent my entire childhood struggling to take a breath, especially at night time. And anyone who's ever struggled with asthma or ever struggled to breathe, for me, thankfully, I just grew out of it. I don't know how, I just grew out of it. So I was free after a while. But childhood was excruciating because I didn't have energy. I could not get good, restful sleep because I simply was clogged all the time. So the freedom, and anyone who's struggled to breathe, anyone who's had asthma or something that's compromised their breathing knows the exhaustion that comes from not having that fluidity of breath. And when you get it, when you clear whatever you have to clear to be able to breathe normally, just be normal, normal, it is liberation. It's like someone let you out of jail. So similarly, we love metaphors in this.
We love our
we love
metaphors.
our similes and metaphors and our analogies in this podcast. When I had that feeling of being undistracted, no thoughts going through, no to-do lists going, no, I have to be somewhere else. There's a next thing to do. I'm just here and it's lovely. And I'm fully awake and rested and at ease. It's like being able to breathe and
Yeah.
being free of pain and knowing that this is what's normal is meant to be.
Yeah.
This is normal.
Yeah.
Well, my normal was something pretty different
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it will revert to the my normal when I leave. But if I can bottle this a bit,
Yeah.
it's such a wonderful feeling to be fully rested and fully awake.
Yes.
It's health.
Yeah.
It's mental health.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, from making the commitment, if there's some way that I can make that same type of commitment to feel like this,
Yeah.
the way I did with my gut health,
Yeah.
it's definitely worth doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, thank
That's
you,
great.
Matt.
My pleasure. Yeah, my pleasure. I guess from my own experience in what you're talking about, I remember for a long time I had a lot of social anxiety, but I wasn't even aware that it was social anxiety.
What did it feel like?
Well, actually, all it was most of the time was I'd have interfering thoughts. You know, I'd be sitting with someone and then a silly thought would pop into my head. And I'd be like, oh, that's a really distracting thought and not a very nice thought. And it would usually be about the other person. And because I would be so busy trying to, push that thought away, I would forget about what the person was talking about. And then I'd be looking at them and then I'd go, oh, I hope you haven't realised that I'm not listening, because I'm really busy trying to push away these ugly thoughts I'm having about you.
Wow, I've never heard of that as a manifestation of social anxiety. Wow.
Yeah. So then when I was around, people out in public, I would get this anxiety of like, oh, I hope these thoughts aren't going to pop up. And then I'd start to get anxious around other people with all the, judgmental thoughts. And it would be judgmental thoughts about other people I was with. And it was uncontrollable. It was like I totally lost control of it. And I think maybe as a kid, you do it. You judge other people. Well, some people do. I mean, I certainly did. And it was a way of making myself feel good. Boosting my ego. Oh, yeah, this person's got a funny haircut, or this person has a funny nose, or this person walks funny, or this person is whatever. And I would notice these things, and it would be like, oh, yeah, I'm so glad I don't have those attributes. Probably not realising they were probably thinking about that, about me. I'm so glad I'm not this poor sucker. And for a long time, I struggled with that. Yeah. And it was probably through playing a lot of music that I started to realise, if I play a lot of music, then when I go out in public, I feel pretty good. And I always thought about, maybe it's because I'm a songwriter and because I have a certain amount of discipline and I want to get my work out of the way, then I can go and relax. But maybe what I hadn't factored into was that because I had sat down and practiced for 6 hours, I was pretty blissed out. And so when I'd go out in public, there wasn't any of those interfering thoughts. And the interfering thoughts really just coming about because deep down inside I was pretty stressed. I was pretty unhappy because I wasn't where I was. I wasn't making millions of dollars out of my songwriting or something ridiculous like that. Just simply I wasn't happy with my circumstance in life. And so it would come out. It would come out in unhappiness. And then that unhappiness would be judgment of other people. I may not be making any money out of my songwriting, but at least I'm not this person. And so when all of those interfering thoughts started to subside, it was like, oh, I actually feel really pretty good. Yeah. So,
And from the music making you feel relaxed,
yeah,
we've moved to sound bathing,
yeah,
making other people feel relaxed.
That's right. Yeah. I think that's the funny thing, ever since I was little, I always wanted to make music that made people feel great.
Isn't that the hope of most musicians?
I think so. But I think it was not quite the path that I was expecting to take. I was expecting to write songs and for people to be enjoying the music on a different level rather than me actually playing singing bowls and people having it on a different level. Yeah.
It's definitely a different level.
Yeah. So I got there in the end, but just a different path.
You took the scenic route.
Yeah, I took the scenic route. Yeah. So, nonetheless, it is fantastic to see you looking really clear. Yeah, really clear. Your eyes look really bright. You look very awake. It's amazing.
Yay.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you.
Is there anything else? No, that's good. That's probably a good place to close the podcast. So anyway, we'll be looking forward to the last sound bath next week.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Number 6.
The end of the protocol.
Yeah. So my hope for that is by that stage you'll have enough memory of this situation, this experience, that you can continue to manifest it on a daily basis. Through your memory, or maybe you have your own practice that you do, whether it's meditation or something like that, but you can keep it alive and keep it going. And if you struggle, you can always come back for another sound bath.
Thanks.
No worries. Thanks, Shell.
Thank you, Matt. See you next week.
Cheers. Thank you for joining us today. This has been a fascinating exploration of sound baths. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment. Join us again next week as Shell completes her journey with her 6th and final sound bath. Until next time, stay well and keep exploring new experiences.